Hey everyone, I'm Nicole Guillaume with Guiding Echoes. It has been a while. Wasn't feeling good the last few days, and I'm better today. What I thought was a cold turned out to be allergies, so I may be fighting the itchy eyes and runny nose and all that fun stuff for a while, but hopefully it'll be under control soon. So today we are pulling cards from the Steampunk Tarot. And I'm going to give you guys a heads up on this because I've gone ahead and pulled the cards, and Tarot's not pulling any punches today. It is cutting right into the heart of the matter and giving us some no nonsense advice. So I've played with a different tarot layout today. I decided to pull 3 cards to see what the situation is. Usually I pull just one. And then I pulled an additional 3 cards to see what the challenge, advice, and outcome is. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Good morning, Janice. Hi, Janice. So what's very interesting today is out of the 6 cards I pulled, 4 of them are in reverse. And when that happens, it's an indication that we are feeling a lot of blocks, like we have a lot of blocks that are, of course, blocking us from gaining what it is that we want out of life. And it's preventing us from living up to our full potential. And usually these blocks, they kind of transmit into excuses. So we're going to take a look at that today. And like I said, Tarot's pulling no punches. So if you don't like the reading today, don't shoot the messenger. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the first 3 cards because, like I said, this indicates the challenge and what we're going through. So the first card I have is the 5 of Cups in reverse. When the 5 of Cups is right side up, we see a person who is, well, he's passed out at a bar, and we have this bartender looking at him like, really, dude, don't you know your own limit? You are cut off. This is in reverse, and what this tells me today is that there are a lot of you who have been feeling tired and exhausted and possibly even sick over the last week, like me, and you're just tired of it. You know, I feel like you're this person in the background and you're judging yourself going, God, when am I going to feel better? I feel like I never have enough energy. It's like you're being very hard on yourself, and you're just tired of your circumstances. The next card I have for you is the King of Pentacles, and this also indicates that money has been a big issue for most of you, where it seems as if the money is not coming in fast enough, it's going out quicker than it's coming in. And in addition to that, it also feels for many of you as if there might be someone that you're depending on financially. So this could be a husband, a spouse, a parent, and it's like this person is placing money in places he or she doesn't need to. So that's really frustrating. So it's kind of like when you know the bills need to be paid and someone ends up putting their money into what they want, like a new TV, instead of what you guys need, which is your bills to be paid. That's very frustrating. So there's someone in your atmosphere who is creating anxiety around money. And what's interesting is for most of you, I don't feel like this represents you. I feel like it represents someone in your awareness, and possibly in your home or your work life. The next card I have is the 4 of Wands, and this is the celebration card. So this is saying that you really just want to get to a place in your life where you're happy, where you have plenty of reason to celebrate. And so when we put all this together, we see that there's possibly some issues with your health, there's definitely issues with some money, and what you're longing for is this ability to create the life that you want. And the other thing I want you to notice is that in this card, we have healthy, happy people. These are people who are working, right? They're not just sitting down being lazy, drinking, or anything like that. These are people who are working. So this sickness that you have, or this extreme exhaustion, is detrimental and frustrating for you because you want to be productive. You want to be decorating your house. You want to go out and working, but there's something that's preventing you from doing that. So that is the challenge. That's what you guys are facing. So on a spiritual level, below the surface, we have the deeper meaning, and here we have the Page of Cups. And what's interesting about the Page of Cups is his cup is definitely, half full. So this tells me that your energy is often up and down. And I feel like for many of you, when you wake up, you don't know what you're going to expect. You don't know if you're going to feel good that day, if you're going to feel crappy that day. You just don't know. So you really have to take every day at a time. And on a spiritual level, what I'm also feeling is for many of you, the spiritual energy is also up and down, but we also have this feeling of loneliness. Look at this Page of Cups. He is by himself. There is no one around him. The sea's pretty calm, so I'm also feeling depression coming from this card. And this is someone who's just wandering around, possibly not sure what to do. So that can be a hard situation to be in. So on top of everything else, this is how it's making you feel. It's making you feel alone. It's making you question your worth. It's making you wonder if you're ever going to get out of this tough situation. So the next card I have for you represents the advice. And the card that popped up in this is very interesting. And here we have the Three of Cups in reverse. So I want you to take a look at this card right side up. Now, typically in tarot, the Three of Cups is the party card. And it's interesting because these two cards have some similarities in their demeanor. The Four of Wands is kind of a party card. Three of Cups is a party card, but this one came up in reverse. So this came up as what you want, what you desire. This came up as the advice. So in this card, since this is in reverse, it's telling you it's really important for you to sit down and get serious about the activities in your life that are wasteful, that are not gaining you any foothold in the direction that you want to go. So we see, for example, money is an issue right now. Well, if you are spending time on the phone gossiping with friends, that is actually time that could be put into writing an ebook. It is time that could be put into maybe creating a guided meditation that you can sell. It's time that could be spent in looking for a work from home job. So there are different things that you can be doing in your life right now to create the path towards the life that you're looking for, towards the path that you want. So over the next few days, pay attention to how you're spending your time. You may even want to get a little notebook, or you may even want to open up your Google Calendar and just take note of how you are spending every hour. And at the end of the week, take a look at what was frivolous, what didn't pan out in any way, shape, or form. And so, I want you to understand that there's two sides to this coin. If you are someone who loves to game, me, if you love games, that's fine so long as you keep it balanced. An hour a day, 2 hours a day, 2 hours maximum, that can be okay. But if it's consuming your life, that's a problem, because that is time that you could have put into checking out different articles that may show you what type of nutrients or vitamins are missing from your diet that could possibly make you feel better, right? That was time that could have been spent on a nice walk to help you lose weight, or at least to boost your state of being, your state of wellness. So pay attention to how you are using your time and what activities actually take away from your enjoyment in life instead of adding to your enjoyment in life. And also, I want to say that there's people involved in this too. We have 3 people in this card. So there are people in your environment that when you walk away from them, you just feel drained. You may go to them for help, you may go to them to brainstorm, you may go to them to vent, but they end up taking all of your energy, and you walk away feeling like, wow, that was a ginormous waste of time. So write all of that on your calendar and in your journal too, okay? The next card I have for you is the Outcome. Okay, remember what I told you, Tarot's not pulling any punches today, and so what we have is the Sun in reverse. So initially this seems like, oh my God, it's the Sun, but it's in reverse. Well, even when it's in reverse, the Sun is still a pretty positive card. It's hard to not feel the joy and vibration and happiness coming from this card, even when it's in reverse. But what this is telling you is that once you notice what's not working for you, and once you start working to change those habits and maybe limit those toxic relationships, that you're not going to experience immediate gratification. In fact, it's going to be difficult. You're going to feel the sun lowering and not the sun rising on um, your life, basically. You know, having to pull away from those mindless activities and become more mindful and become more productive is going to feel like a chore. It's not a habit yet. So it's really important that you stick to this, that you, I don't want to say commit to it, because commit almost seems like for me, as soon as I commit to something, it feels like a chore anyway. So you want to keep it in your awareness, and do that in any way you need to. So maybe it's writing notes on Post-it notes and putting them in different places. Maybe it's setting up little alarms on your Google Calendar. You know, just think of what it is that you can do to stay in alignment with those actions and behaviors that are going to be fruitful for you. Okay, so start paying attention to what your behaviors are, to what your actions are throughout the week. You know, make this your homework from, what are we on, Tuesday? It doesn't matter when you're watching this. Just, you know, from here for the next 7 days, pay special attention to what you do throughout the day. Write it down. You don't have to change it yet. Just acknowledge it. Just be aware of it. And at the end of the week, look back and take note of what activities made you feel good, what activities were productive, and what activities made you feeling drained, and what activities do you maybe just need to cut out of your life because they're not good for you. You know, maybe you're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, you know, I drink a lot more than I realized I do, or I eat out more often than I probably should, or I don't get out and get enough exercise, or shoot, I'm not meditating anymore. I need to figure out how to put that in my schedule. Just pay attention to it. And you don't have to come at this from a place of judgment. In fact, once you do that, that's when you start feeling guilt and shame. And that is not conducive to making change. It really isn't. So look at your schedule. Look at how you've spent your time with non-judgment. Be as detached from it as possible, and just make it your intention to do better. And you may not want to change your entire schedule at once, because that'll be overwhelming. Just look at the small changes that you can make. All right, maybe limit the gameplay, or make it your intention to add 1 serving of vegetables on your plate for each meal. You know, make it small. And be gentle with yourself. Be encouraging for yourself. On those days when you don't want to follow those changes that you know you need to make, be honest with yourself and say, you know, I really don't want to do this right now. This really kind of sucks. I would rather be reading. I would rather be talking on the phone. But, you know, I'm just going to acknowledge how I'm feeling, and I'm going to do this anyway, because I know that in the long run, this is what's good for me. You know, I know that I'm going to feel better once I start making this a habit. So give yourself a little pep talk, you know, just be kind to yourself, be encouraging to yourself, and also be compassionate and gentle with yourself as well. You know, talk to yourself the same way that you would speak to your best friend, assuming that you speak to your best friend nicely. So that is your reading for today. I hope that you found it helpful. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can, of course, visit my website at guidingechoes.com. And also, I wanted to let you guys know, as a follow-up to the post that I put out there yesterday, when I mentioned we're going to be close to 30,000 subscribers on this Facebook page soon. I want to ask you guys 2 things. One is to continue to get involved in that discussion. Let me know what type of things you would like to see, because I am thinking I'm going to do some type of a raffle, and I also want to provide some type of event. I want to do an online event around this, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So whatever comes to mind, whatever you think would be fun, go ahead and get involved in that conversation and put your insight there. And then there was another thing I wanted to tell you guys about it. but I can't remember. Oh, and then also, please invite your friends to this page. Let's get them involved in Tarot Church. Let's, make sure that they also have access to the uplifting posts that are posted on here, 2 to 3 times a day in addition to this. So if you know people who could benefit from this page, please invite them. This is a community. This is where we can all get together and talk about spiritual things, hopefully get an uplifting message. Sometimes we don't have uplifting messages. Sometimes they're coming to Jesus conversations. But either way, they are meant to help you on your path and help you to gain insight, whether it's through personal readings or whether it's through something like this where we connect and where we connect as a community, as a collective. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope that you have a fabulous day, and assuming my allergies are not horrible tomorrow, I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a beautiful day.